riding high is an attack that you can do from the mount. And so you want to ask the questions, how do I safely and effectively stop the opponent and get off of him without having him sweep me? So let's take a look. So here I am in the mount position, and I don't want to go, yay, I did it, because he's going to sweep me. He's going to bridge and roll or knee to elbow, and I'm going to be either on my back or he's going to put me in his guard. So what I need to do is I need to, for the most part when I'm here, keep a low base. If I can put my hands out and keep my chest low, that'll be a good thing. Now if he's much bigger than you, he might try to bench press you off and go ahead and push up. Yeah, he might just try to launch me off of his chest. And there are counters you can consider from here. But I don't want to get into really technical wrestling, jiu-jitsu stuff. I just want to focus on practical street defense. So I find myself in the mount. I'm nice and low. I want to try to isolate his face and sort of remove the effectiveness of his arms. So I'm going to put my elbows on the ground right above his shoulders so that he can't wiggle free. And I'm going to start to walk up higher and higher in the mount until I'm in a position like this, where I'm squeezing his arms together with my thighs. Now here his face is actually a little obscured by his own arms, but if I can create an opening here, I might start to punch into the face. Or if his hands really are in front of his face, I might throw roundhousing punches into the ears. But no matter what the case is, I'm in a very dominant position. I've got all my weight on his chest, and his arms, it's harder for him to hit me or to push me. If I'm able to land 2 or 3 strikes to disorient him, this would be a safe time to get up off of him. So I can either push on his arms, put a hand on the ground, or just get up quickly into a close kneel stance to try to drop a knee into his throat or his face, and quickly get off of him before he might take me down again to the ground. Scoot this way just a little bit so that I'm not out of frame and complete that. So I'm going to get rid of my remote control here. Let's look at the possible things he might try. He might try a bridge and roll, right, if I'm not careful. So let's throw me to the camera here. Yeah, whoop. He might bridge and roll me, and he's now in my guard, and I've got to work hard to do a scissor sweep or something similar, right? Rewind. He might try, if the bridge and roll isn't working, if he tries the bridge and roll, and I start posting, he might go for a knee to elbow. He's going to try to pull that knee in and then transition to the other side. Yep, and pull the other knee in. And maybe he distances himself and he starts bicycle kicking me. Kicks my teeth out. 1, 2. Or if I'm staying close, if I'm pressing in, he might put me in his guard, and I might end up here. So both of those cases aren't as good as the mount, right? I'm in the mount, one of the best places to be. I want to keep it. So one last time. So when I'm here, particularly if he's trying that knee to elbow escape, what does he need? He needs to pull his body out away from me. He needs to shrimp. So as he would try to do that, if I keep my hands on the ground, he can't distance himself, right? So I'm keeping my weight above him. And if I can keep climbing, in this case his arm's kind of getting underneath me, but as he would try to shrimp away, I'm going to walk forward. And Chris is letting me win here, I appreciate that. So as he would shrink back, you walk forward and you get to a riding high position. It's easy when I'm working with a buddy here who's letting me win. When you're really trying to do it, it's going to be a bit of a fight. But from here, you can hopefully punch him out. And then, like I mentioned before, a good place to spring up and quickly drop a knee. If not on the throat, maybe on the solar plexus, right? And I'm being polite here, but you really want to sink all your weight onto those targets. And obviously, a kick to the face is always good too. So I want to present a couple other considerations for when you're performing the riding high technique on the opponent. He may try to bring his legs into play and either pull you backwards or push you forwards to get you off of him. So if I find myself in the mount position and I'm able to keep him low and to work into a high mount position, and I'm thinking, this is great, I can punch him, I can do whatever I want. Well, if I'm sitting up too tall and celebrating too much, what might he do? He might bring his legs all the way over and wrap around my chest, and then do it gently here so I don't crack my head open on the ground. He may pull me backwards this way, and obviously he's got a few strikes to the groin available. This is just kind of an awkward position for both of us. You know, you might try your best to roll out if you can. Let me come back in there. Yeah, you were like that. He, though, might try to lock up my legs, or I might try to lock up his legs one way. So the only reason I present this to you is to just say, be careful. Don't really worry about doing anything fancy at this point. Just don't let him do that to you. Let's stay there. Yeah. Now, we're going to suggest or examine, what if he tries to send me the other way? I get my low position here. I'm trying to ride high in the mount. I'm thinking I'm getting these great punches. And then he's going to stick his feet in my armpits. And he's going to sort of bridge and roll me on the diagonal here. He's going to push with his legs, yep, and roll, and keep rolling with it all the way over, something like that. Now in this case, he managed to end up in my guard. He may also end up in another funky leg position. Let's trade rolls here for a second, just so we can see what that looks like. I mean, anything is possible here when, yeah, you're in the mounts, you're on top. So suppose now Chris is the good guy, right? And he's doing his riding high technique, and he's got this, beautiful opportunity to knock me out. Well, if I get my feet underneath here in his armpits, I'm going to try to sort of buck and roll, bridge and roll this way. Notice how our legs finish here. We're both like tongs, right? And so I've got availability to his groin. He might start cranking on one of my ankles, and I can try to start cranking on one of his. I can try to bring my legs over together and try to put a little pain in his arm. A little pain in his leg here, in his ankle. Like I said, don't worry too much about the particulars. Just be aware that this kind of odd-looking scenario can happen if you're not careful.